been a few weeks now since I had the P1.8 software update pushed to my car over the air, so I thought I'd talk to you a little bit about how I'm getting on with the update, if I noticed any kind of little quirks, if I've noticed any of the improvements that supposedly have happened, and yeah, what you can look forward to if you still have not yet had it. So I've had the P1.8 software update for a while. This is a software update that hopefully for most people happens over the air. There has been a few failures on the Polestar 2 that require people to go in to the local dealership to get the software applied in the service shop, but I've been very lucky, touch wood, that I've not had any of those failures. So if you look at the P1.8 software update, it's got a few new features, and I can talk to you about whether I've used them and what I think of them and kind of how things have generally gone in terms of my experience. So first thing off is the charging timers. So this is something that the Polestar 2 has not had until just recently. It's the ability to schedule your charge for a time that you want, i.e. most convenient or most likely cheapest electricity. So this isn't a feature I use myself, but I know so many people have been missing from the Polestar 2. I got the MyEnergy Zappy, the first generation one, so I use the actual timers on the charger as opposed to the chargers on the car. But if you have perhaps an older or a dumb electric vehicle charger, then that is a feature that you're more likely to use. I'll look at that on the screen in a moment. The Eco Climate heater on off buttons added to the Climate app, and also the Range Assistant app button. Some of these buttons, the Eco Climate function, I find to be absolutely crap. If you have the Eco Climate function enabled, the windscreen steams up, so you can't really see what you're doing, so you need to turn it off anyway. And that Range Assistant app, it's slightly better than the crappy app that was on that screen before, but I still think it is a complete waste of time, pretty much. Optimized battery preconditioning for temperature when plugged in. I have used this a little bit. This is great. This is something that is much better for any owner that has electric vehicle in the winter time. So if you've got the vehicle plugged in for charging and you kind of turn it on from the app, or if you use one of the timers saying you want to go at a certain point, not only will it heat up the car, but it's now also actively heating up the battery, which means you'll have a warmer battery when you set off, so you're going to get better range in the winter months. So that actually works pretty well. More Range Assistant app improvements, more linear scale and visualizations of the speed. As I mentioned before, in the previous 1.7 update, I still think that the Range Assistant app is a waste of time. It's not really too much we're going to go through on there. Radar stability improvements for adaptive cruise control and pilot assist. Again, I did a video on this a little while ago. I'm really happy with the pilot assist features and the cruise and everything on this car. To be honest, I've never noticed any issues with it, and just yesterday I was using it on the motorway for, I don't know, 30 to 40 minutes. Again, no issues. So I don't know if there is an improvement in stability. I'm sure there is, but I've never had any stability issues with it up until now anyway, so not something that I'm complaining about. Improved steering assistance for lane keeping. Again, not ever had that problem myself. The system works really well. Digital key improvements. I've never used the digital key. I tried setting it up once, but it's a little bit crappy, and also I'm not a fan of having your phone as the key for many reasons. If I lose my phone, I've got an issue. If someone steals my phone, I've potentially got an issue as well. And again, I don't think these keys are that big. It just sits in my pocket and I hardly ever notice it. Maybe it's because I don't wear skinny jeans. I don't know. You tell me down below in the comments. And then the usual thing that all software companies do, general bug fixes. We don't know what that means, but yeah. I've noticed no issues actually with this last update. The car still works perfectly fine. I know some people reported after the update initially happens, maybe having some issues getting back into the car. It takes a bit of time for the car to kind of wake up. But again, personally, no issues. So let me move the camera around and then we'll look at some of the changes that we can see on the screen itself, specifically around those timers. Okay, so the interface has stayed the same. Again, if you want to look at the release notes, there is a link. I'll put it down in the description to go to the actual Polestar page where you can read about the release notes. Here's where we find out, obviously, that we're still on version P1.8. But if we go back and we click on the car here, and we go to charge, here we have the charging schedule. So again, we can go in here, schedule if we want things to be every day or not. When we want charging to happen, we can kind of set time on the clock. When we want things to start charging, when we want things to stop charging. Let's do that over here. And again, it's pretty straightforward and simple. Again, not something that I've used because I don't have a need for it, but again, it's a much needed feature that I think people wanted. If we go into the range app, again, they say that they've made some improvements. I generally have I guess a more casual driving style, so the consumption tends to generally be low, but I've never seen the driving style change. Even if you drive it like you stole it, it's really, really odd. And again, this stuff, I don't know what the answer is, but I just don't think they need this screen. It just seems a bit pointless. And again, as I mentioned, we put the Eco Climate on, all that happens is the front windscreen tends to fog up. So not a massive fan of this. And I also would like the ability personally to be able to change consumption information. I want to know how many miles per kilowatt hour I'm doing, not kilowatt hours per 100 miles. But yeah, we can't have it all. And that's one of my only complaints about the car. Things can't be that bad. And then if we just go into here, trying to see where the assist is. Okay, so we've got the adaptive cruise control and the lane keeping aid. So again, these all just have stayed the same. There's nothing that we have set any differently, but like I said, these things just work as you'd expect to, and I have no problems with them whatsoever. So again, the car still performing pretty well. I've had the car nearly a year now, so I will be doing an update towards the end of January about how I've got on with the car over the last year. But again, I'm really happy with it. I think the Polestar 2 was a good purchase, and I'm glad that they're still continuing to do these software updates. But I'm still not convinced they're doing the software updates that customers are asking for. It's still kind of tweaking some of the things that perhaps should have been there from the beginning. But be interested to know what you think. Please let me know down in the comments about any thoughts if you're a Polestar 2 owner, if you have any kind of questions, and I can hopefully answer them either in the comments or in future videos. Thanks very much for watching. If you have done, please like the video, it'd be much appreciated, and also consider pressing the notification icon and subscribing to be made aware of future Spectrum Geeks videos. There may be some content on the channel that you're not interested in, so consider checking out some of the playlists for more kind of focused content based on what you're interested over here on Spectrum Geeks. That's it for now, and until the next one, take care of yourself.